When we see a modern airliner, it's hard to believe that airplanes used to be clumsy, noisy, rather primitive machines.
My first experience in aviation was a Piper Cub, a very small airplane, a small engine. We didn't even have an electrical system, and to find myself in this airplane, it's a tremendous contrast. I mean, it's like finding yourself on the moon.
A computer has really advanced the art of flying beyond the capability of pilots in terms of the very sophisticated end of it.
Less than a century ago, few people would have dared to imagine what we now all take for granted. The safety, speed, and comfort of modern airliners has changed humanity and brought the world closer together. Despite increasing demand for air travel, building a new airliner is a gamble. Even with a close cooperation between the airlines and the airplane manufacturers, the undertaking remains risky and expensive.
We need an airplane that is fuel efficient, can fly a long range, do that job well, but still be compatible with the airport.
But they can only produce airplanes that match the available engine technology. Engine technology always dictates the airframe size and the performance of an airplane. So the two have gone hand in hand. And as the markets have developed and airlines have tried for particular airplanes to handle particular markets, the engine manufacturers and the aircraft manufacturers try to meet it.
When Boeing began construction of what would become the world's largest twin-engine commercial airliner, the company's past legacies were drawn upon in every possible way. Boeing hopes the 777 will be the jet for the next century, that it will be an airplane customers ask for by name.
The primary reason that I really enjoy flying the airplane is that it's just right up there with everything. So it is taking advantage of some technology that's been around but hasn't been really applied to commercial aviation in the airliners. So to me it was exciting. It was something new, something that was in the forefront of commercial aviation. So it was just exciting to be a part of it.
Few things have changed the face of the world with the force of the computer and the jet airplane. And now, as we stand at the dawn of a new century, these two elements have come together to push us into a new age of international travel. And this new era begins with an airplane designed for the next century, the 777. We live in an age of travel. People of all nationalities from all corners of the earth yearn to explore, to visit new places, to meet new people and reunite with old friends. The dramatic rise in demand for jet travel has prompted airplane manufacturers to look closely at which routes are most traveled and how best to serve the changing marketplace of air travel.
Air transportation has grown at such a tremendous rate. There's so many more people flying, so many more airlines flying. I mean, airlines have so many more routes now, even though they sort of consolidated them into the hub system. There's still many, many individual airline routes that they actually need airplanes tailored to specific markets. They wanted something that was a little larger, a little longer range than the 767, but not so expensive to fly as the 747.
The development of commercial airplanes has always been driven by market forces. In the late 60s, the Boeing company began to work closely with their customers to respond to changing demand. With a belief in their vision of commercial aviation's future, they gambled the worth of the company, and the result was legendary. Introduced in 1969, the 747 revolutionized the world, bringing long-distance jet travel within the reach of the common man. The 747 has enjoyed a remarkable legacy of success, and its name has become synonymous with international travel.
Well, the 747 is just almost like the cathedrals of past structure in terms of its size and its impressiveness. From a pilot standpoint, you sit in a cockpit and you look out and you can scarcely believe you could land the thing.
We talk of it in cents per seat mile, but it's inexpensive enough now to make it open for everyone. Everyone can fly. What started out as our greatest risk turned out to be our greatest reward. It exceeded our fondest expectations.
The gamble that produced the Boeing 747 created a revolution in commercial air travel, from which there has been no turning back. The energy and resources which drove the development of the 747 30 years ago is now embodied in the latest Boeing success, the 777. With a length of 211 feet and a wingspan of 200 feet, it is the largest twin-engine commercial jet in the world. Designed to carry more than 300 people distances of up to 5,000 miles, the 777 is a remarkable tribute to the evolution of aeronautical technology. Made up of millions of parts, the 777 is a world away from the fragile wooden airplanes originally built by company founder William Boeing. Boeing's company got its start in the First World War, and after the United States became involved overseas, Boeing was awarded a Navy contract to build 50 aircraft. After the war, Boeing looked beyond the world of military airplanes. In 1919, he decided to show North Americans that his planes could perform civilian tasks, like carrying mail. Carrying people was next. This Model 80A could carry 12 passengers and boasted the industry's first air stewardess. Although this plane was successful, it could hardly match Boeing's next creation, Model 247. Model 247 is perhaps the original prototype for the modern airliner. It could carry 10 passengers and could fly 189 miles per hour. Model 247 could, with 7 stops, complete the trip between New York and Los Angeles in 20 hours, 7.5 hours faster than the best previous time for an airliner.
It revolutionized the world with the Boeing 247, which was an all-metal low-wing monoplane, cantilever wing, retractable landing gear. It was absolutely sensational, faster than anything in the field. They thought that they would sort of corner the market. They would sell them all to United Airlines, which was part of the Boeing company at the time. And they made the mistake of saying, okay, the first 60 go to United, and then we'll begin taking orders. Well, other companies rebelled against that, and TWA went to Douglas and placed an order for an airplane that was essentially, the prescription was better than the 247, and Douglas achieved that with the DC-1, DC-2, and DC-3.
The Douglas DC-3, a low-wing, twin-engine monoplane, first flew in 1935 and emerged as one of the first airplanes profitable for the airlines. The DC-3 could carry 21 passengers nearly 1,500 miles at speeds of nearly 200 miles per hour. Faced with serious competition, Boeing turned its attention to size with the 4-engine XB-15. This was the first really big plane to use state-of-the-art technology and high-performance power plants. Only one XB-15 was built, but Boeing had established itself as a manufacturer of big aircraft. When Juan Trippe of Pan American Airlines approached Boeing to build a big flying boat to fly the intercontinental passenger routes, the engines and wing design of the XB-15 were molded to fit the new hull, and the Model 314 Clipper was born. 106 feet long, with a payload of more than 15 tons of fuel, passengers, and cargo, the Model 314 was an enormous plane. Capable of flying 3,500 miles, the Clipper brought the dream of international travel a bit closer to reality. With a range and capacity to carry 2 shifts of flight crew, it made regular scheduled transatlantic services possible.